All I know, John, is that is better than 4.
Most improved.
40th
Most improved.
Most improved player by
Far,
far.
not even close.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh boy.
All right. So, thoughts?
My favorite part about this game is this. And what I mean
What
by
is
that
this?
is the fact that you have money and worker placement spots.
Yep.
I just think that's so unique. I can't think of any other game that does that
Yeah.
in the
Clever.
same way.
I think there are other
That I've
games,
played,
but
right.
fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It
without
is
a
a
doubt
cool
my favorite
mechanism.
part. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I was saying the other night, I just really like games that are tight. I like when the economy is tight, and this definitely has that. I really shot myself here, but if I had completed this, it would have put me at 79. So, I mean, other things would have happened, but that was a 30-point swing, essentially, because I lost 10, had 20.
It's like
but,
it's like you got in the car, drove to the store, bought the weapon,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "Don't do this! What are you doing?"
I know. I mean, but it is. I wanted
Yeah.
to see what happened.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure,
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah,
that was
that's
dark.
dark.
Wow.
My
okay.
analogy was far nicer, but
wow.
sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Sunday here
Okay.
now, you know?
It's involved death, and this game does also.
Well, I mean, checks out. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the line.
right.
Yeah.
I'd actually love to hear from David why he came up with this design. I
Like,
just,
you mean the theme?
yeah, the
or-
theme.
Okay.
The theme is what
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah. I'm always attracted to not generic space and fantasy theme games, you know. So, and the Salton Sea theme is just, it's really cool. I don't know any other games that are like that.
I
so.
believe David's Spanish, like from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
if I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, yeah, I'm curious how or why.
Yeah, why this
where
theme.
the theme came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
This is like the 4th or 5th time I've played it, and apparently the first time I've played it with all the correct rules.
But you beat me to it.
Yeah.
Thunder.
Oh, and I've already written down here the heavy cardboard version versus the actual version.
Right. And what we mean by that, to be
Yes.
clear, so unpack that.
For those who are just joining us.
Yeah, is the way we were doing this, and this was actually a credit to
Yeah.
the artist,
Yeah.
which is what is it?
Amelia
Sales.
Yeah.
So what we originally thought it was the limiter was the actual cube. So if this cube is here, you can't buy any shares.
Gotta put some money into the company.
Right. So here, and then if it's there, you can actually go up to that box.
Yeah.
Right. And this was but it makes it to where it's impossible to close the companies for all intents and purposes.
It also slowed down the purchasing. of
It
stuff.
very, very much does.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we played it that's better or
It was
anything,
still-
just
yeah.
we were artificially hampering ourselves.
Well,
Yes.
and what it did is it opened the beginning of the game up, because when the limiter is down that low and you're playing the heavy cardboard version, you can't buy stocks. You
Right,
can't.
yeah.
There's nothing to do, so that just cuts off a huge part of the game.
But people do sell almost immediately to free up space.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it automatically puts ones into the area where you can pull stuff, and it
Yeah.
makes the stock available. So in our variant, it actually doesn't hurt
I.e.
the game.
playing it wrong.
It
here,
doesn't,
let's
it
say.
doesn't hurt the game, but
No.
this is so much more important when you have access to it early.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I was immediately
as
like,
evidenced by the
look,
fact
I
that-
can get these to give the pushes, because before we were like, we need to get the
Right,
cards
right.
to get the
Yes.
pushes.
And it's just it's
It's
amazing.
better as written.
Right.
Yes, and it's amazing how sometimes we sit here and we play these games, and for myself personally, I don't appreciate how tightly interwoven all the systems are. That's exactly it. It was in the game we played earlier, the pregame, all the double bumps were up here, and that was going to be the way to get up there.
That one in contracts.
But with the ability
contracts,
to buy 2 shares at the beginning of the game right away,
Yeah.
there you go. There's your first bump, and that's going to get you an open warehouse
Yeah.
slot.
So I totally changed my strategy after you guys
Yeah.
said that, because I was like, wow. Because the last game we played, I myself went heavy contract and I didn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to move that, because I felt like that was such an important part of the game, to be able to get workers. It's a worker placement game.
Yeah.
But being able to do it in different ways makes the game better.
It does.
obviously.
100%.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It
It opens up those avenues in a smart way.
Yeah, it's woven pretty intricately in that the cards are money, the money are cards, the workers are a finite resource, sort of. But no, you need workers to be able to take actions. You want cards to take actions. You don't need them, but to be able to double up or triple up, you need cards, but you also need money because it's such a tight economy. And it's rough in the ways we want a game to be rough,
Yes.
or we want it to be very constricting.
Yeah, us heavy board gamers, we use words like painful, rough, agonizing, and that's
Sharp.
That's good.
Sharp, yeah,
sharp. That's actually,
for sure.
that means a good
Challenging
thing.
is a good word.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I was saying the other day when we played this that like it felt a lot like Clinic for me because of the way the tightness of the money, being able to should I do this first and this because the adjacency of the card, the way I just like the market that it doesn't replenish. I mean, it's such a simple thing, but it's so strong round to round that like, oh well, when it replenishes, the things I might want might be there. So
What do y'all think about the randomness as far as the way the cards come out? I mean, they're the 1s and 2s for the contracts. Oops, our bad.
Yeah.
But we fixed it. But just the way that works.
There was a couple times where I wanted an action, but it didn't take too long to get there. There's other things I could have done instead. Like I didn't feel like I had to do this or I was screwed because there was a lot of other opportunities to do things. So.
And I mean, you had the opportunity to get the cards.
Yeah.
You chose not to.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're all in the same boat. I mean, this right here felt arbitrary to me because of the points that you're getting on it gives you like something that you have throughout the whole game.
Hold on. What do you mean? What's arbitrary? What?
So
The multiplier?
So to get the numbered ones
Yeah.
from they have to be out. 2, you have to have it available for you to get. So you might not actually throughout the course of the game be able to totally fill up that area with points, so to speak.
But I made it a point to like keep an eye
But
out
that's-
for them. So
But that's what I'm saying. The randomness led to us being very tight on being able to see who
Sure.
to get it first, right? And then player order is very important. It's like, do I want to take that action or do I want to grab what I need first?
And that's the key. Like, it's a choice still.
It is,
Yeah, there's the
100%.
randomness of the cards, but then it becomes is that more important than this other thing? That's what I want to do. Is it more important than what I need to do right now?
Like,
Which
I
is,
feel-
you have agency. I feel like
Yes.
the
Yeah.
randomness doesn't negatively impact the player
It kind of
agency.
teaches you to kind of look at these earlier opposed to like waiting later when everybody's looking to get
Plus,
them, right?
locking up the points early, great. Now you can't use that action spot or
That is
as
true.
an action spot. And I got hampered by that because I got those early. And I'm like, I got to be able to open a warehouse so that I can have those, cushy actions that you guys are, using and making use of, and I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, to your point about the agency, the game does allow you to pivot.
Yes.
Right, because there's a lot of ways to get. At the end, I had to abandon this.
You could sell
and
your
I was
stuff.
still able to get points here.
Sell your stuff,
points
get
from
really good
here, so,
actions, take the really good actions back. Hopefully, use them at least once
Right.
before you throw away the money again.
Right, yeah, and I love that playing the
So
cards
good.
as actions come
good.
back into your hand as either actions or money.
I almost forgot a couple times, and I was excited when I pulled the
Oh,
money
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I was like $5.
Yeah.
I went from 7 to 13. I'm like,
It's like
I
finding
am flush.
it's like finding change in your pocket.
You're right,
It's
you're right.
amazing.
Or you wash that pair of jeans, there's a 20 in there. Be like,
Oh,
yeah!
a sizzler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly how it felt. Yeah.
It really does, right? Because the economy's so tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
agree.
ended with a lot of money. Like, a
We
lot more
we
than
mentioned
$100.
during this that it feels almost Lacerda like, and to tie it a little bit into how interwoven everything is to me, feeling like a Lacerda. I was struck when I think it was you made that comment. Oh, was it you? Well, fine. I'll say it was you. It feels like
Well, specifically to inventions, like the chaining, trying to figure out your path,
Like,
right?
yeah.
But there are other games that
Yeah.
do that. Don't get me wrong, but that's what it made me think of.
But
anyway.
it feel, when some people make a game that you look at and you go, oh, that feels like it's influenced by a game by another designer. What it seems like they've done is some people will take a game and not really understand what makes it tick, just kind of copy the surface level stuff so that they can hope that other people say, this is like a Lacerda game. I don't feel like that is the case here. This does
No, there's
feel
enough.
like
There's
that.
this is its
It's
own
more
animal.
unique.
Like this. It feels like the designer David Bernal opened if he even did opened up a Lacerda game and really looked inside to see what made it good and made it tick and took good things from that and put that into this, and that. And it definitely stands on its own as a good game, but I was just struck by that comment and how few games actually do that try to copy Lacerda style games actually pull it off.
Well, and in a positive way, in a way that this isn't like Vital's games.
Please.
There isn't a do 74 things on your turn.
Yeah.
It's simple, right?
Yeah.
It is very.
So, and that's a
But
that's
the
a positive
ramifications-
here.
Right.
The
Yeah.
ramifications are just head rattling.
Sure.
Of that one thing that you do on your turn.
When I was watching you guys play, and I hadn't played it yet, and I was watching, I watch a couple of turns. as
Right,
I'm,
yeah.
Having something to drink before I go back to whatever game we were playing. I thought that the game looked like it was slow moving, and it looked like on my turn I would be bored, and that was definitely not the case. I was like, it. As the person that gets in the batter box, you're like, oh wait, it's going to be my turn now, so I have to choose which decision I want to make.
Yeah.
And a lot of games, it's like I feel like I have a decision, but there's no decision. There's the good decision, and there's the thing that you're thinking about that you shouldn't be. And in this game, I actually felt like I could really pivot in a good way, which normally in heavy games, you're in a track. You're following a certain way, and if you
Or a path. Right.
a
Yeah,
path. And,
right. Yeah.
and that path that you're traveling is going to make you do other things to travel that path. This, I actually was traveling a path. I was like, oh, wait, what about this other thing over here? This is kind of shiny. I'll do this thing for a little bit. And then I came back to it, which was nice. The game didn't end, which is important.
An AP-prone player might struggle. Because at one point, you
yeah.
took your turn, and then all of us took our turn.
Yeah, and then we're like,
extremely
Paul, it's
quickly.
your turn. We all just drilled down one. Yeah.
So if you're not ready, like you said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and again, this is where the nature of the beast for being the host.
Yeah.
To where I'm like, okay, this last round, I really need to.
Sorry, everyone, you're just looking at this board.
Yeah,
for right
this
now.
is it. I really gotta. Yeah.
Yeah.
The box size, as y'all can see, is tiny. Like it's the same size as Red Cathedral and White.
Yeah. Castle.
Back.
Castle, yeah.
On the positive note, small shelf space.
Okay.
Negative note,
Yeah.
like,
Tiny font size.
come on, dude. Like seriously. And it's a small form factor, but also look at how much space this game. It's still
so much space.
So it's still a massive.
Massive.
I'm not saying it's a massive table hog,
No.
but don't let the box size deceive you. This is a big game. Like physically, it sprawls a lot.
Don't think you're going to bring, it's a small box game.
Right.
I can play it in the airport. No,
Right,
don't.
yeah.
Do you
No,
put
right,
Is
yeah.
the market as big for 2 players?
It's 2 plus the number of players.
Oh, so it's
So
only
it's
3
4.
cards.
Yeah.
No, it's 4.
4.
2
Oh,
plus
okay,
the
4.
Because
Got
that's
it.
how math
Got-
works.
yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was doing Common Core.
Oh, right. Yeah. Fair enough.
The
Fair
number-
enough. My bad.
The
My
number
bad.
line, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sure. But outside of, I mean, a couple of things like there's the rule book. There's some ambiguity.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, job security. Unless Paul's teaching. No, I'm totally.
Hashtag mediocre team.
No, you did great. I think. But some of the iconography could be a little bit clearer here or there.
Yeah.
And it just the clarifications on the cards, like with the one we ran into with John's, and
I wouldn't have chosen yellow for one of the 3 companies.
when there's a yellow player,
There's a yellow player.
right? Choose a different color because that feels confusing
Yeah.
when you don't know the game. But
This is
overall,
lovely, though. I mean, I hang this on my wall.
oh yeah, it
good
is pretty, the
Without
artwork.
them,
And last thing that I have, at least, or a question for y'all is, how well do you feel the theme fits the game? Or do you, I mean, look, all the actions that we're doing, it all thematically makes sense. So it's not pasted on. It's not like there are some other games to where you're like, it could have literally been anything.
If you tell me it's a game about mining,
Yes.
converting this small resource into these other resources and selling them and that kind of thing, I say great, that theme works.
Yeah.
I
So it's Kutnohora.
I haven't
Okay.
sure I haven't been to the Salton Sea. All I know about the Salton Sea is the YouTube documentary I watched.
Sure.
I would not, if I were from Salton Sea, I would not play this game and say it's like they understand.
Yeah, that's where I'm
Right?
going.
Yeah. They get
But-
the ecological.
It definitely feels like
disaster.
you're running a business, though.
It
Yes,
definitely feels
yeah,
like you're running
that
a
it does,
business. But I say kudos for whoever, whether it is the designer or the artist or someone, to say, here's an interesting geological area that no game has ever really.
So it's either the designer or the publisher will change it to.
Yeah.
It could go either way.
But, you know,
Kudos
but-
to them.
Yeah, because we could be doing peat. It could be like another type of resource.
Right. Yeah.
just-
So in that regard, right. I will say,
Yeah.
from I don't know. It's a unique setting,
Yeah.
at least. Like, I don't know that there are any other Salton Sea games out there.
Catches the eye.
It's beautiful, and it kind of here. Okay, I said last question earlier, but it is theoretically machinery that we are like. But again, they chose to make that a minor meeple.
Yeah.
So the mining, we kind of had fun with it, and we're just killing our miners. And it makes me think of the only other game that really kind of tackled that was the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
we killed a lot of people in the cost.
Did you ever feel reticent in doing that? Like basically making a profit off the backs of the environment and off the workers? To me, I used it as a punchline
Yeah.
and not as a, oh God, this makes me feel terrible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, Derek, before we started streaming, there is some social commentary here for sure. In the rule book, there's like 2 pages of history at the beginning, which is pretty interesting.
I mean, it is a great story.
It's
just
a
in general.
microcosm of what could happen if we're not careful.
Yeah, this
Right.
is it's
Yeah.
a microcosm of what would happen. It's what's happening to the Earth.
Right.
You know, because things are drying up, and man-made isn't exactly all the things they did with this lake. It's amazing. You watch the early '60s and how much water boat and activities and how much community.
It was a recreation area,
It was so
right?
much community.
Yeah.
It had more people visiting that location than Yellowstone.
Yeah.
So you got to think of the amount of engines in that sea, or the amount of just
Like
people.
boat motors, you mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's
right,
there's no sewer system there, so
It's got to go somewhere.
yeah.
And the sunset's beautiful because of pollution.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I can never say this right. Zhao, I'm pronouncing that right. Says, yeah, your negatives about the game are not that big to me, and that's fine.
Yep.
But I just wanted to touch on them.
Yeah.
I mean,
And our goal here isn't to sell you the game.
That's
Our
true.
goal is to let you know and show you the pluses and minuses, and y'all make your own decision.
I mean, it's pretty heavy, and somebody that's light to medium, and somebody that loves Everdale they're gonna be like, blah.
yeah, so
But
that's the
not for
only
them.
that's the interesting thing about making this the exact same,
Yeah.
making it kind of look.
Yeah, it looks, yeah.
It looks
Small
like
and pretty.
no. It looks like White Cathedral or Red Cathedral and I can't remember
White
the other
White
one.
Castle.
White
White
Castle,
Castle.
right? Those are way lighter games.
Let me tell you.
Same size box, same publisher. Oh God,
There's
very
gonna be
different.
some people complaining
Let me-
because
let
they're
me
gonna get
tell
this
you-
home and they're gonna be like, that
What
was not
the
what I was
hell?
expecting.
What I saw at PAX, because
Right.
that was this weekend,
Right.
was someone at one of the vendor, the game store booths. They were literally holding a copy of this in one hand and Santa Monica in the other, which is this very light.
Yeah, they
like,
look similar.
Yeah, which is this
same
very
color
light
palette.
card drafting game, I
yeah.
think, in
Santa Monica's
tableau
good.
building it.
Yeah, you
and
make the roads.
Yeah, and they were like, which one should I get? Which one should I get? And I was, I didn't. If I gave in to my instincts, I would just hang out at those booths all day and just be like, "Psh, you don't want that game.
That's
or,
what I
you know,
do.
You definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
so wait. So finish the story.
The story-
Did you speak up?
No, I had to go. I felt bad for this.
That
person.
is such a cop out. You could have saved someone.
I always
Could've-
do.
Yeah.
So
know.
what did they choose?
I don't know. I left, but I saw.
What a cliffhanger!
I know, right?
Wow.
Tune in next week. No, I didn't.
Hopefully
I
they're
just saw
watching.
them. I
They
just
probably
saw them
will.
as I
Well,
was
yeah,
like.
maybe they're in the stream because they bought the game and they have no idea what the hell's going on.
Hi, you bought this at PAX East.
Paul didn't talk you out of it. I'm
right,
sorry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I did not because otherwise I'd just be there all day every day and I couldn't. I had to go home. So, people, but just
That's a good point, though.
Your mentioning that was like, yeah, people are going to see this box, and unless they really know what they're looking at the back of the box, and even then maybe not, because I don't know what's on the back of the box, they could end up being like, what is this? And then local family found.
Yeah, we'll get it for $20.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and that. Normally, I don't talk about price of board games because the price is the price. The amount that goes into the development, design work, art, the whole nine production is far more than the average Joe. Again, being in the industry, and Derek is also in some ways. We know a lot more, so I understand. And again, I'm not buying these games. A lot of these times, these are review copies. So, is a game worth it?
Yeah, it's objective.
I don't know your monetary situation. I don't know, is this baby formula or board game? So I try and avoid anything when it comes to cost. Plus, if you're watching this 5 years from now, it's not going to be relevant.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant, if you will.
Yeah.
So, that said, I have heard that this game's going for like $30, $35.
MSRP I think is 40, and so
Which means it's going for 30, $35.
something like that. Yeah.
That's a lot of game for not a lot of price.
Especially heavy games, because heavy games tend to be really expensive because of the componentry and everything else that goes into them.
I do understand. Looking at the back of that box kind of reminded me of something. I do understand why DeVere does this, but I'm not the biggest fan of here's our small box with 5 different rule books inside of it and all this other text.
Oh God, I've already thrown out all the others.
I mean, I get why they do it, but it's just I don't love it.
Yeah, I mean,
and the other kind of bone to pick, if you will, that I will bring up. Let me show you all this.
Oh.
And this is a problem. This is a problem that I feel a lot. I feel this is a bit disingenuous by the publishers. It is not just DeVere that does this, so I'm not picking on them. But let's look at this picture, okay? This picture tells me, wow, okay, so I mean it's pretty true to form in a sense that it is, this is what it looks like. That is a 2-player game.
Yeah.
And that looks like such a truncated amount of space that you need. The majority of people are not going to be playing this 2 players.
You mean the distance of the table isn't 60 inches? From that side to that side?
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this would make you think that it's pretty tidy little...
We're not quite at like McDonald's hamburger on the menu levels of misrepresentation here.
Right. But I'm just saying...
They got in trouble for that.
That feels a little disingenuous.
There's no room for your minds or your tech on there.
I love the fact that I can fit 7 games in my Calyx instead of 5.
Right.
So 2 more games fit in there in that size.
Oh, again, look, I get, but there are going to be trade-offs. If you're going to have a box this size, there are going to be trade-offs.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like the value of this game is very high compared to the cost. So I feel like that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So well done them.
Also, Derek, you and I need to talk because I need to find out if I've been saying the name of that shelf wrong. Because you just
it's
said
a Calyx.
Calyx? Okay.
What do you say?
I say Calyx.
Oh,
It's a Calyx.
You said Calyx, and
Well,
I was like,
or that one, which is an Expedite.
Yeah, Expedite.
I've always said I say a lot of things incorrectly.
That's fair enough. I just want to make sure I wasn't saying it incorrectly.
I always say Calyx, so
very good.
You keep doing that.
You do,
That's-
yeah.
You know
keep
what?
doing it.
It's Calyx.
We like it.
Fine, Calyx.
We like it.
There we go.
it's like Felix.
Sure.
Yeah.
So overall, so hold on. So Coral's like, so did I like the game or not?
Yeah.
So there you
go. Solo. Jason asks if it has solo.
Yeah, it's 1 to 4.
Yep. There's a little deck around here. Somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the box. Whatever. It's right here.
Yeah.
It's a long A.
Solo.
There you go.
If you want to see it, leave a comment down below. That's a wrap. Subscribe.
Look at that. Swordfish. Sweet hair. It's a long A.
Raid.
Calyx.
Calyx? We'll find out. We'll do research.
We'll Google.
Raid.
Huh?
Raid.
Right. Oh yeah, right. All right, so check it out. If you're watching on Twitch, we're gonna go play some marbles before we get out of here.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, we are.
Oh.
So if you're on YouTube, hold on. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, support the show, all that fun stuff. Really appreciate it. I'm Edward.
Make sure you give us our thumbs too. You've watched it all the way to the end. You can at least give us
One thumb, two,
One
or
thumb.
two. Yeah.
Seriously,
I'm Derek.
half y'all don't subscribe. I don't get it.
Yeah, please, if you're a regular viewer, please subscribe.
Or if you like what we're doing, just subscribe.
Yeah, just
Hit the button. Just
And even better, check out the Patreon. There's tons of perks. It's awesome.
that costs money. Subscribing free.
Free.
Just hit the button.
Yep.
John.
Subscribe.
Paul.
Y'all have a good night. Take care. We're out of here. Take care, y'all. Thanks for watching, y'all. If you enjoyed the video, and the fact that you're still watching leads me to believe that, hey, you did, maybe watch one of those videos or subscribe to the channel. Consider supporting us over on Patreon. Really does help the channel. Really appreciate it, y'all.